Okay, good evening everyone. Welcome to week 9 Sunday Bootcamp. My name is Hattie. I'm an independent consultant and an executive area manager with Arbonne. And today I'll be going through what to do daily in your Arbonne business. And then I'm going to hand over to the lovely executive district manager, Tracey, who's going to talk to you all about tracking your business. So by implementing a daily method of operation, or a DMO, you are treating your business like a business and you're committed to getting yourself on that success curve. 99% of people start this business to create an income. So by doing something simple every single day, and these are really simple things, you're going to be starting to get paid by Arbonne as soon as possible. So just a quick disclaimer there, because obviously I've mentioned incomes. There are no guarantees. And results are different for everyone. So to view the typical annual incomes, please do visit earnings.arbonne.com. So I'm just going to take you back to around April of this year, April time. At this point, I was about a year into my business and I was suddenly experiencing a huge wave of momentum. My QV was really steady for a few months, and then suddenly in April, I was getting up early. I do anyway, but I was up early on calls every single day, and then on calls late at night as well. Obviously, I was in Australia at the time. So yeah, just up really early and then on calls late at night as well. And my team and I were enrolling new PCs and ICs daily. We had just shy of 50 signups in just because I was a district then. So we had just shy of 50 signups enrolling new PCs and ICs in the month of April. And then I completed area with more than double the QV that I needed. With more than a week left of the month to go as well. Leanne and I literally, honestly, couldn't even remember our own names, let alone most of my team's names, but it felt absolutely amazing. So why I share that is because you might be wondering, what had I changed to get that wave of momentum? I had so many people messaging me, which was honestly so lovely. It felt incredible, saying, wow, you know, your business is on fire. What are you doing? What reach out message are you sending? What are you saying to your team? What's the secret sauce? But the truth is that there is literally no secret in being successful in Arbonne or network marketing. I can honestly, truly say that I have been so consistent and committed from the very moment that I properly started my Arbonne business. There was a bit of a lag because I didn't really understand what Arbonne was. I didn't really understand what I was doing. But after, a few weeks, I was so committed to doing my DMO. I've been doing those simple, little, trivial, mundane disciplines that we all know we should be doing every single day. And then bam, that compound kicked in that everyone talks about. So I'm just going to talk about the absolute non-negotiables that you should be doing daily for your business to be successful. These are the absolute bare minimums if you want to walk to the next level. If you want to jog or run, then absolutely you need to be doing more. You need to do more of your DMO because here you get out what you put in. This is an effort-based business. If you want to absolutely sprint, then I suggest you read Grant Cardone's book 10X. I know there's a few people on here who love that book. Yeah, so if you really want to sprint to the next level, then read that. He talks about basically doing 10 times what everyone else is doing, which just makes total sense, right? So the absolute bare minimums to do daily are these 3 things. So read 10 pages of a good personal development book, one that we recommend in Arbonne, so speak to your upline. Listen to an audio or video every single day. And then ask at least 5 people to take a look at Arbonne. Obviously, if it's cold market, then you want to be doing a lot more numbers than that. I'll also mention a couple of things that I've added into my DMO that I find work really well for me and have helped my business grow, in my opinion. But basically, so reading. So I have dyslexic people on my team and they're so committed to reading daily. There's absolutely no excuse with reading. It's vital to read every single day. If you've always told yourself you're not a reader, then that's just a story, so change it. I never used to pick up books before I did Arbonne either, and now I've read about 30 books in the space of 18 months. So readers are leaders. You learn so much from a book. Books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, books that I would never have even dreamt of picking up, have totally changed my mindset and therefore changed my business. If you're new to Arbonne, then I'd recommend you get your hands on these 3 books ASAP. So Go Pro by Eric Worre, that's the book we always suggest reading first. Get Over Your Damn Self by Romy Neustadt, I think it is. And then How to Be a Badass by Jen Sincero. Those 3 really, really helped me when I first started. So if you do struggle to stay focused when you're reading, just make sure that you have no distractions. I found that's really helped. So if I'm reading and I've got my phone right there, then, I mean, sometimes you're just drawn to pick it up. So just make sure that you have it nowhere near you. Put it in a completely separate room, and the same with any other distractions you might have. It might even be like your cat or your dog. Just put them in another room, or put yourself in another room. And I always used to find as well that if sometimes my mind would wander when I was reading, because I honestly just hadn't really read for so long. So I'd make sure that I had a pen and paper nearby, and I found that really helped me, because if my mind did wander, then I could just get anything I needed to out of my head onto paper and then go back to reading the book. Again, as I said, reading 10 pages is the absolute bare minimum. Do more if you can. It's so easy to obviously pair reading with other activities. So things like commuting to work, obviously if you drive, then absolutely that's just not something to do. But you know, if you get the train or the bus, then take your book. Being in the bath or winding down at night, whatever works for you. But even just 10 pages a day equals to over 10 books a year. So it's so worth just making sure you're really doing that consistently. Listening to 30 minutes of again, a personal development audio or video training that we have in Arbonne. You've all got so many trainings to catch up on from AAC virtual, so there's loads on there. And I think this is obviously just really self-explanatory, but listening to audios and videos just ensures that you are really staying plugged in and learning about our industry, our company, our products, the blueprint that we have for success. I found that consistently listening to audios whenever I can in the spare pockets of time has really helped me to stay on track and learn the fundamentals in Arbonne when I was new as well. I was forever just listening to Discover Arbonnes over and over and over again so that I could learn how to present a Discover Arbonne and then get an independent. We know that the best copycat wins in this business, so just basically find successful people in Arbonne who you resonate with and just follow in their footsteps. My go-tos are just obviously YouTube and SoundCloud. I also really utilize the notes in my phone. I store so many links in there, and I know I share them quite a lot. I'm also I'm absolutely podcast obsessed. So I listen to ones like How to Fail by Elizabeth Day, Success Secrets, The Mindset Mentor, Best Book Bits, because I don't have Audibles, I have Spotify instead, and that's kind of like an all-in-one for me. And Best Book Bits is really good because it's just like Audibles, but there's so many personal development ones on there. So reaching out is the third DMO, just keeping it really short and sweet. Having 3 solid non-negotiable DMO things is really, really important, and you'll find that all network marketing companies have maximum of 3. So with reaching out, I'm not going to go massively into it because I know I've done quite a few trainings on this and there are loads out there as well, but I'm just going to give you, I put 10 top tips, but I think I got to 7. I think that's all I could think of. So number 1, be consistent with reach outs. Do it daily so that you never have a blip of not speaking to people about Arbonne, because then it's just going to roll into the next day and the next day. So just make sure you're doing at least 5 every single day, and then more obviously if it's cold market. Don't just do them to tick them off like they're a chore. Do them with meaning and you'll find that you get really good responses back. I find that when I'm doing them whilst I'm feeling good, for example, listening to, like high energy music, like on a blitz, I feel great and I get really good responses. Whereas if I'm doing it, to kind of cram it in at the end of the day, I don't really watch TV, but kind of whilst in bed or on the sofa or something like that, then I don't feel it creates as big of an impact. So number 3, make sure you experiment with all platforms. Ask both your warm market and your cold market. Don't just stick to one. Number 4, use your people list so that you always have people to reach out to, and then you can keep track of where you're at with prospects as well. And I know Tracey's going to talk about tracking. Number 5, personalize the message. Never ever spam people. Even if you're reaching out to cold market, please don't just copy and paste messages. Always address people by their name at least, and tell them why you want them in your Arbonne business, why you've messaged them. And yeah, why you're asking them to take a look. People, I always say this, people have a post-it note on their forehead saying, make me feel special. So just, yeah, just do it. Number 6, ask at least 5 people a day. I know I've said this. If it's cold market, then do at least double that. Number 7, always follow back up with people. Don't get offended if someone hasn't replied to you. People are busy and don't necessarily understand what you're offering to them yet. That absolutely happened with me. And plus it shows that you actually care about them. If you just message people once and then never ever message them again or check back in to see whether they got your message, then they're going to know that it was kind of cold market, just reaching out to people blindly. So always follow back up with people. So that's those 3 absolute non-negotiables. The next couple of things is things that I've added into my DMO that I think have really helped me. And I know so many other people do this as well, but it's just, again, just some more tips. So affirmations and visualizations, gratitude and meditations, I'm going to just briefly run through. With all of these, I think it's just about finding what works for you. I find that I get myself in such a tizzy if I don't do like a morning routine each day. So I love just doing it all kind of in one go in the morning, getting it done first thing, and then you don't have to stress for the rest of the day. We have a 30-minute miracle morning session every weekday in our Nation Collaboration Facebook group. It's at 6:30 a.m. Try it out for 30 days. It's not meant to be easy. So don't just quit on the days where you don't feel like getting up early. Do what's hard. I have recently been implicating a morning routine similar to what Lucy Bardrick mentioned during her AAC training. So she was basically saying, well, this is I've kind of adapted it to what I do. So I wake up at 6:30, have a pint of greens balanced to make me feel great, or you can just have a pint of water, just get yourself hydrated. Then I meditate, visualize for 10 minutes. And after that, I write a gratitude list and 5 affirmations. Then I watch a 10-minute motivational video. My favorite channel to get them from is Law of Attraction Coaching on YouTube. And I recently shared these in the True North WhatsApp group as well. They're just really good. They fire you up for the day. They're so good. And then I go straight into my reach outs whilst listening to music. And I then read 20 pages of a book. That's something that sometimes I do that in the afternoon. It kind of depends what I've got going on for the day. So that's just like my power hour, and it makes me feel so great to have done all of that, like so much of my DMO already. Plus I know that if I do any extra throughout the day, then it's just such an added bonus. So meditations, visualization. So with this, I think it's something I struggled a lot with in the beginning. However, what I found is that it's so important that we know where we're going. We think about what we bring about. So something really interesting I learned from Joe Dispenza, which is slightly scientific, but bear with me. He says that we think around 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day. And 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before. If you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, and if you've been in Arbonne long enough, or you know about law of attraction, then you'll know that's true. Then you're always thinking about the same thoughts as from your past. Your life is not going to change very much because the same thoughts lead to the same choices lead to the same behaviors create the same experience, and the same experiences produce the same emotion. So we must be aware and conscious of our thoughts so that we can ultimately fire and wire new thoughts and condition the body into a new emotional state. If we start doing that enough times, what we are visualizing, what we want to come true, our why, our dreams, are going to start to become more familiar to you. When I kind of understood that, it made me think, right, like this is something that is just going to have to be a non-negotiable for me. We are essentially the creator of our reality. So if you imagine your mind as a garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. I don't know if that's a bit of a rhyme, but it works well. So the moment that you start feeling abundant and worthy, you are generating wealth. The moment you are empowered and really feel that, you're beginning to step forward to your success. Some of my absolute favorite meditations that I'll just mention. Firstly, a lot of you have probably heard of the book Super Attractor. It's really brilliant. I read that recently. And what she kind of says, it's by Gabrielle Bernstein, I think, yeah. And what she says is that the true power lies within you, and that she's just basically got lots and lots of tips to help you manifest your dreams, manifest where you're going. The book is full of meditations as well. I also find loads on YouTube. Esther Hicks ones are my absolute favourite because they're guided ones. I personally just keep me there. What else have I got? Oh, and there's a really, really brilliant app which is called Insight Timer. So if you want an app with lots of meditations in it, it's free. Jess Date recommended it to me and I love it. It's loads of like meditations, manifestations. It's free, and then you can pay extra if you want extra from the app, obviously. So gratitude. I feel that, you know, practicing gratitude daily has so many benefits. I always do this because it's just so quick to do it, and you don't necessarily have to write it down. I personally do, but it's so easy to get caught up in being really annoyed at trivial things that don't necessarily go to plan, especially at the moment. But if you switch that to just feeling grateful for small things in your day, then you're going to see such a huge difference in your outlook towards so many things. I always start each day by being thankful just literally for my health, for my body. We take it so for granted. So I think if you start there, that's a really good place to start. And you will literally magnetize abundance and keep attracting more of what you want. It comes back to the law of attraction again. So I'm almost done. Affirmations, it's slightly similar, so I won't get all scientific again, but essentially if you're doing all the activity, all the reach outs, all the reading, but you don't believe that you can be an MVP or an area manager or wherever you want to be, then the universe simply can't match up to that, can't match up that energy. You must believe you can and are worthy of achieving what you want. If you tell yourself you're not a reader, if you tell yourself you're always late or you're a technophobe, that's when I always say, I jump on a call and I'm like, sorry, I'm just such a technophobe. But guess what? Nothing's going to change. You must affirm where you're going. So during AAC, I can't remember who said that, who said this, but they said to just focus on a maximum of 5 short and sweet affirmations daily. And that's something I hadn't heard before, but it was quite interesting. So yeah, just focus on 5 and then you can obviously start to update it. I write mine down in the morning, like I said, but then I also say them aloud when I'm driving. It's quite random. I just find like I like to do them whilst driving. And with affirmations, just always make sure you start with I am. So I am happy, I'm healthy and wealthy, I'm abundant, I'm successful, I am confident, I am enrolling new PCs and ICs daily, I'm a regional vice president. So just always make sure you are saying I am. And that's all I've got in terms of having a strong DMO. Sorry, that was quite long. Just remember that consistency really is key. And it's so easy to one day think I'm too busy today, or missing one day of my DMO is not going to hurt. But by doing that, you're literally sending a message to the universe and say, I'm not really that bothered about achieving my why, my dreams, my goals. So just make sure that you're doing the absolute bare minimum every single day. In a traditional business, you wouldn't just show up and do what's necessary you wouldn't just not show up like on an off day and not do what's necessary to run that business. So you would always make it a priority. And this is just no no different. So that's all from me. Over to Executive District Manager Tracey, who's going to chat to you about how you can successfully start to track your DMO. Yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys, and go for it, Tracey.
Thank you, Hattie. As Hattie said, I'm Tracey, and Hattie has kindly asked me to train on tracking this evening. So DMO and tracking is something I'm very, very passionate about. Anyone that knows me within Arbonne knows that I'm very organised, I'm very OCD, and so I'm going to share personally how I track my business. So ever since I started my Arbonne business, when Sarah introduced me and she said about starting your 100-person list, I got myself a notebook and a pen, and I just started writing down names. I don't know if you can see that there. So on the one side, I write down the date that I sent the message, my first message to them. On the next side, I've got their name, I've got what job they have, what area they come from in the world, and how I know them from, whether it's my wall market, school, college, uni, LinkedIn, social media, etc. And then every time I recontact that person, I again put in the date again, and any comments that they've come back with, I will put in so that I know where I stand with what they're saying. And then if they say that they want to hear more about the business, I highlight their name. So then I can look through these notebooks and know everyone that are interested in the business, and the other people I just are gently persistent with, and I do my follow-ups with them over the years. So obviously having a notebook is quite old school. I know other people would prefer technology. So you have got Arbonne's CRM, and you have got like Excel. You can do an Excel sheet. There's probably apps that you can download. You can use the notes on your phone as well. But tracking really is important, because you're wasting time. If you're scrolling through messages trying to find the person that's contacted you and you're not sure who to contact or what platform they contacted you on, if you just have it somewhere, then you know who you're contacting. Like when you're doing your DMO, you know who you've got to contact that day, and it just makes things a hell of a lot easier. The same with DMO. So again, I use a paper diary because I'm old school. But I have a diary that goes from 5 AM all the way through to 10 o'clock in the evening. And in that diary, it has one column that's got all your timings, and the other column has a to-do list. And in the to-do list, I write down what I want to do in that day. So I will say I want to do my Arbonne messages, my Arbonne reach outs, my follow-ups, affirmations, visualization, gratitude, audio, read 10 pages. I'll write down any DAs that happen in that day, that I want to do a post on Instagram and what that post is going to be. And then as I do it throughout the day, I tick it off. I 100% agree with Hattie. If you can get the stuff done in the morning, it's so much easier, because you know it's all done and you're done with your Arbonne for the day. You can, if you've got further time later on in the day, you can check in again, reply to a few messages. But by doing this and having it in front of you, it's just a lot easier, and you know, and you're not faffing, and you know, you're just being organised. A little bit of organisation doesn't go amiss in this business. You don't want to waste time with this business. That's what we're trying to address with everything. We're trying to keep it simple. So yeah, that's how I use my business. That's how I do my DMO, and that's how I track my business as well. I hope that helps.
Helpful. And yeah, it's so true. Like when you're actually tracking, because I didn't track for so long, and then when I actually started to track it, it's just so much slicker. And I know that I've still got the exact same person list that I still add to now from when I first started. And it's so helpful to go through that. So yeah, thank you so much for loads more tips. And thank you so much to everyone for jumping on.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ladies. It was amazing.